At Washington Commanders minicamp, all eyes are on Jaden Daniels. Because if this franchise quarterback is healthy again, he could be the spark that turns Washington into one of the NFL's most dangerous teams.
How do you view Jaden Daniels in year number 3, Lewis?
He's a franchise quarterback. He's as simple as that. When he came into the league 2 years ago, he took the league. To me, look, when I went to see him down in Baton Rouge and watched him throw to Malik and Brian and all those guys that year, and it was slam dunk. This is the dude. This is the and he showed you that. He showed you that. You're right. As you just said, it's nothing but injuries that really derailed him. Jaden Daniels hasn't lost a lick of anything in terms of what ultimately he has in his bag to make him one of the very best quarterbacks in the NFL. I expect him to return to that, provided his health is fine and everything else around him doesn't just fall apart, which I don't anticipate that doing.
The 26 rookie class, and then there's others that are trying to be part of the 26 rookie class. And you don't see how it all, mixes together until we're out on the field. So it's awesome. For the rookies, there's definitely a sense of excitement. You feel that, but also some nerves and butterflies, as you might expect for them, going into their first practice. So we're pumped to see them do the thing. And for us as coaches, it's awesome too, to get to teach some of our commander standards. The practice, over this weekend, it's not long. It's really about the intent, not anything near about the intensity, but what we're teaching, the standards, some little bit of philosophy, how we want to go. So it's really nice to see all you guys, and it's really awesome to be back out here at practice. So why don't we get started and get rolling?
Dan, we haven't been able to talk to you since the first round of the draft. One of the guys you're bringing in, Antonio Williams, I'm just curious how you see his fit in this offense and the usage for him.
Yep. So, man, what a fit, I would say, first off, with Antonio, because this is a player that can play multiple spots at receiver. He's got experience outside. He's got experience playing inside in the slot. That type of versatility, John, that goes a big way. And seeing through the last few years, the film from him at Clemson at both spots, demonstrated route running ability, we're really pumped to have him.
Is there any surprise he's wearing number 14, Amon-Ra St. Brown? Is there a similar style usage for a guy like that?
No, I just picked it. I don't even know why. It was like, there's no correlation to why. I'm sure he was wanting whatever number, but we'll work all that out later. I do not. Yes, I do not, and I'm hopefully never going to.
What do you like about him in his game?
I like a lot about his game, Nikki. First off, I think as a running back, there's some things that you really look for. First one is vision. In the blocking scheme, sometimes the hole is so small, to know that's the spot, that's the aiming point. Can I make a cut? Can I see a defender that's, further on my backside to go? And that type of knowledge, that type of vision is a big deal. He's got demonstrated power, in the backfield. So there's a lot that I like. I'm really excited to get started with him.
I'm going to ask you a question too. You brought in Drew Stevens. What's kind of your plan there? Is that you expecting a full kicking competition?
Yes. Yep. At a number of spots. It's one of the things I love, just promoting that type of competition and what we'll do. And so there'll be a number of positions that we'll talk about, in the months ahead of where those competitions will be. I honestly feel like that's how we get the best out of one another. Those competitions at positions, different styles and roles, that's how it all kind of comes together. And so whether we're talking about kicker or center or, different spots along the way, we just keep battling for it and we'll see it all the way through.
Dan, as a coach and a coaching staff, what are you looking for this weekend when you see these guys on the grass?
Yeah, the first thing, I guess we're onboarding these guys. Number one, just some of the learning to see, all right, we installed some things with them. Now can we carry it onto the field? Some of the movements, but I want to see communication. I want to see their connection, with their other teammates. The individual portions are more important right now than the team parts. None of these guys have worked together, so it's just the first part of the onboarding. So I'd say it's an important part of the process. Have fresh eyes for the guys to go. I'll generally look at as much on some of the guys here on a tryout basis than I will on some that are already signed or in that space. So, but looking forward, I'm just looking for the communication, the movement skills. That's first and foremost.
I'm sure the gears are going in your head with Sonny Styles. How do you envision utilizing him in this defense?
Yeah, I think the first part of it, man, like, let's get the fundamentals down. The two inside linebacker spots have similarities, but there's also some nuances. During the course of the spring and training camp, we'll work him and some other guys at both of the spots. There's a lot that he can do, and like all the players, we're going to try to do the best we can to put them in the spots to really allow them to do their thing, at full speed and at a high level. And a lot of times that takes all the way in through camp as well. So there's no limits on what I think he can become, but I'm going to let the whole process, really play all the way through, because there's a lot to go over.
Dan, this is essentially the start of the run towards the 53 practice squad, things like that. You guys have preached culture and the internal positive vibes that you've throughout the time you've been here. How much does that get tested when you're going through the evaluation process you just went through after a 5-win season? Does that get tested for you at all?
I think it should get tested, to find where your mettle is when you have a season that goes well and then one that just went terribly. You want to dig in, you want to find answers, you want to make sure you can tweak things that need to be tweaked. But one thing that I know to be a fact, like, there's some real competitors in this locker room, and the standards they have as ball players and teammates, those are the things that, help you get to where you want to get to.
And obviously, not everybody's a Boy Scout. You probably don't belong all Boy Scouts. How do you evaluate the risk reward of those principles versus, hey, maybe this guy, a player, wherever that you might find him throughout the process, there may be some questions. How do you evaluate that aspect of the talent versus maybe the risk?
Yeah, I think the football characters, like what you're talking about, and that's demonstrated to know, how we can feature the best things that these guys bring to the team. That's what you look for first. To be a productive NFL player, man, there's got to be one or two traits that you have that's so elite you can do differently than everybody else. You want to find those things, but always within the framework of the team. Yeah, I think you have to have demonstrated communication skills. It doesn't have to be where you've done it your whole life, like where, okay, that's all I've ever done. Like some kids grew up as a quarterback from 8 years old. It doesn't have to be that, David, but what it does have to be, there has to be confidence. There's got to be belief. It's got to be firm, because that voice is used in a lot of ways. Sometimes to give the call, sometimes it's to also let somebody know this is not how things are going to go. So there's a number of candidates that we have, but that would be at the top of my list, like demonstrated ability to think under pressure.
I was going to say real-time processing.
Real time. And that ability for those players that have that thinking under pressure, and quite often we try to make here at practice as stressful as you can. Is it like the game? It's not. But if we can create as many training scenarios for them, what happens when the green dot doesn't come off? When it doesn't work. There's plenty of times in practice would just, don't have a call, so they have to feel the stress of okay, you didn't call anything. What am I going to do? You're at your best when they're already finishing the call, like you're starting to make a call, through the headset, and before you're done, you see the person turning and starting the conversation. So it takes a while to get to that spot where you can be in concert. But the more you do it, the more connected you become with the play caller, and that helps too.
Can you create that atmosphere here? And it's a 3-day camp with a lot of tryout guys, or does that lack of cohesion make it even better?
I think it's too early to test right now. It's the first go around. Let's just see, communication. Is there urgency that goes with it? But as we get into the full team being together beginning on Monday and then through spring ball, that's really when you can kind of test it. This one is more, let's get the function down and get to those skills before we turn up the heat too high. Yeah, just in fact got some, the chance to spend some time with him today after our walkthrough to go in, and it's the football knowledge also that goes with it. Josh has been somebody at Tennessee that's been versatile. He can drop, he can rush. That's why he's here to rush. But I'm excited to have that type of length, get off, demonstrated pass rush ability. I found the more of that you have and develop it. We were talking about traits earlier, how important that is. He has that. And we look forward to developing that trait to see if we can take him from this space into the next one.
Did he
He has not told me. I do.
Hey, Coach, one of the undrafted free agent cornerback players,
Yes.
talk a little bit about him and what you hope to see in that area.
Yeah, and coming out of Jacksonville and some of the different spots, what I see right off the bat is, at corner, good length and the ability to match, some of the taller receivers down the field. And so those are a few of the things that you want to get into the evaluation. Can a corner track the ball down the field and sometimes just catch the flash of the ball? And so those are the things that you're looking for at that spot. In Durante's scheme, there'll be times when they're up playing on the line of scrimmage and times that we're off. And so those are the things that will start the process of training him on. But I'm excited to see where he can take it.
You've had Durante in the building for a couple months now. But what are you learning about him stylistically, leadership?
I think from a leadership standpoint, I'll start there first. Man, is he organized, like impeccably organized. He's got a very detailed thought and approach to how things go, from the way he meets with the defensive staff to the way he meets, with the players. So I like that approach. Like there's just, he hits every single step along the way. As a player, you like that because he's thorough. He goes through all the steps. It's not gray. There's a lot of clarity. Even though at times it can seem complex to what we're doing, there's actually a lot of clarity that goes with it. So that's the part from a leadership standpoint that I've seen so far, like the extreme organization and clarity of the teaching.
To that point, what have you seen different from David Law so far since he's kind of stepped up?
I think it's fun to see him install the whole thing, in front of the room, an identity of what we'd like to be, of the different teaching. So there's quite a bit of new terminology, for the players that, we're here from 24 and 25. So to see the different things that we're emphasizing and him right in the front of it all, it's been excellent. One of the things I've been impressed by him is his ability and the staff to really function together. Like our receiver group as a coaching staff, I really don't think you could come into a better space than to learn from Bobby and Wes and Andre. Like the amount of experience the three of them have together in the National Football League, it's incredible. And so they're able to share different things, different points of view, vibe off one another. As a coach, that's the type of environment that I'm looking for, to see their vibe together. So that might be just one small example of him listening and also allowing some of the guys to make their imprint on the offense as well.
Got time for two more.
Yeah, I think the first part, it's totally expected, and it's awesome in a way. Like, as coaches, we're also excited. For them, it's their first NFL practice, and we're here. And so the first thing, man, there's no expectations. Just let's go through a great practice. And that's where I start. I want to see them communicate. I want to see them go. The practice intensity is going to be low, but what I want to see from them is just their intent. I saw it in the walkthrough. We'll see it here. So it's just kind of like the first step in onboarding somebody into a really successful year. And so it's an important step, but let's not make it bigger than that also. There's a whole nother set when all the veterans come back. How do they fit and where does that go? This is the type of team you'd want to be a part of as a rookie, because there's people that would be looking out for you that have your best interests. We have not. Yep. I can remember remarking to him after a game, it might have even been at Carolina, I just spoke to the competitor, of who he is and what he stands for. And so I can remember him as, a first-time player coming up and competing against him. I said, man, you hang in there. You got a lot to offer. And, he for damn sure did. And so I think it's kind of one of my favorite parts of the NFL because of, the competitive nature of people going for it. And I think he really represented that.
Got time for one more? We good?
There's conversations, but nothing official until the schedule comes out, because that's where it could change. So what we do oftentimes from combine to the league meeting, say, hey, if it works out where, we have the practice together, would you be interested? So there's definitely some teams that we would like to, if it lines up, to where we're practicing, whether it's here or elsewhere. I like what it can bring. I like the different looks. I like the competitive nature of that. So there's definitely some guys that you want, but until it becomes official with the league, then right when that happens, kind of like, are we in? Yeah, we're good, or no, we're not. And so, but we plan on that. We'll just play it out as it comes. All right, thanks everybody. You guys have a good one.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.